Welcome to Candid Convos with Evette. I am Evette Rawls, founder and creator of Teacher Coach Series. Today, we will begin session 4, Parent-Teacher Relationships. Today, I want to discuss the benefits of having a parent-teacher relationship and how you can develop a strong foundation with the parents of all of the students in your classroom. There are going to be 3 words that I want to share with you when thinking about building your parent-teacher relationships as you begin your new school year. Experiences, accountability, and expectations. When you hear the word experiences, I want to talk about it from 3 different perspectives. I want you to think about from the students' experiences in your class, from the parents' experiences as a student when they were in school, and from your experience from being a teacher wanting to see all of your students to be successful. So we'll start with the student experience. As a teacher, you want to think about how you can create multiple ways for the student to be successful. When building a parent-teacher relationship, you want to make this the priority. You want to share this with the parent, sharing all of the multiple ways that you are going to make sure that you are attending to or that you are creating to make sure that their child is going to be successful. When you do this, you let the parents know that you guys are on the same team. It does not matter what is going on. Hopefully, the first time you meet the parent, it is during a time that everybody is in a more joyful and happy state. But if by chance it's a situation where the first time you meet a parent is when the parent has to come in because we're trying to correct the situation, you want to make sure this is the priority of the discussion, the student's experience in your class, and that you are going to be working towards making sure that their child is going to have multiple ways to be successful. When you create that level of comfort and letting the parents know that you're working tirelessly for their child to be successful in their class, they appreciate that and they respect it. The second part of expectations I shared was the parent's experience as a student. This is an area that I have not heard too many teachers talk about, and I came to the realization of this probably within the last 5 years. I've always had a special gift of being able to build strong relationships with parents, and I don't take it lightly that it came from a mindset of listening to the heart of the parent when I had the opportunity to meet or greet or conference with the parent. I always listened to how they responded or reacted to what was being given to them. It let me see how they viewed education and how they viewed teachers. If a parent had a good experience in education, then they had sort of a way of looking at education and the experiences of what was happening in the school in a more brighter sense or in a more positive light. If a parent had a more negative experience in school, then they came with a bit of reaction from their experience. And so I will always tap into the student's experience that I desired for that student to have in my classroom versus possibly a past experience that they may have experienced during their own educational experience. And when you really listen to a parent and they may be like disgruntled or upset, they'll even say, well, one time when I was in school, or when I was in school, or when did they start doing that? Because when I was in school, or however they may come off, or whatever choice of words that they choose to use, if you listen to why they may be coming against what you're saying, it may be coming from a place of what they experienced in school. So once you create that sense of comfort and you make those parents feel that you are there to make sure that their child's learning experience is going to be successful, it calms their nerves, whether it comes from a place of hurt or from a place of where they've had some wonderful experiences in education. Again, it puts you both on the same team. And that's what you want to do throughout building that parent-teacher relationship. The last part of experiences, when we talk about the student experience, the parent experience, and then the teacher experience, So from a teacher experience, we're coming from a way or from a mindset that we want all of our students to be successful. We want to make sure that no matter what is happening, no matter what new strategy or content that we may be teaching, we want to make sure that all the students are successful. So no matter what, that is what we're striving to do. We're collaborating throughout the day. We're at a place that we're making sure that we're lifelong learners. No matter what is happening or being thrown at us, and I was trying not to say that word, but sometimes that's what it feels like. We're trying to make sure that we're on our A game. So when we are building these parent-teacher relationships, we want to make sure that we're confident and that we have enough confidence in the information that we are trying to teach to the students, so that when we talk to the parents and we're building those relationships, we're coming from a place of expertise. We are the experts in this content, in this learning experience for these students. And when we deliver that to the parents, they are able to gain more respect and they're able to be on board with what we're trying to do with their child's learning experience. I've used these 3 experiences and when developing relationships with the parents, and it's been a lifesaver, because as soon as I hear a parent come from a way of their sort of throwing their learning experience on their child, and their child may not even be in those experiences or having those challenges or even thinking about things the way that they're thinking about it, I'm able to sort of gauge and sort of like lead a sense of reassurance and give a sense of confidence that their child is going to be okay. So you want to make sure that you think about the experience from that perspective. The second word that we want to think about when building strong parent-teacher relationships is accountability. Now, again, accountability, that's a strong word. Accountability from the student, accountability from the teacher, and accountability from the parent. As a teacher, not only do you want to be accountable and hold yourself accountable for making sure that you are creating multiple ways for each student to be successful, but particularly when you're building a parent-teacher relationship, it is all about their child at that moment. What ways are you holding me accountable to make sure that your child is being successful, is making sure that your child is reaching these goals? Then, what ways am I going to hold your child accountable? This is what I expect. This is what we're going to do. This is what will happen when this child is in my class in order for them to be successful. And also, parents, this is what we expect. This is what we're going to do. Because if you come across a parent who may not understand everything that's going on, when you're able to lay out these different expectations and you're able to lay out all these different desires you have for their child to be successful, they'll rise to it. So if you're saying every night, I desire for, the child to do this, and I want by the 15th the child to do that, the parent is going to be on board in the sense of they know what's expected. So they'll help you in making sure that that's available. You can do this through literature that you send home, through remind apps or whatever app you want to use that you deliver information home, phone call, text message, whatever you choose. But the expectation is sent out there, and then it gives you the pathway and that straight line or that straight highway for you and the parents to be on the same page. The third word that I want to share and discuss more in depth when we talk about parent-teacher relationships is expectations. And so when we think about expectations, it's exactly that. What are we expecting? We need to make sure this is clear and direct. When we're dealing with parents, we want to make sure that we are talking in a way that it is clear and direct. If I am setting the expectation that there is no talking during this time, you just say that. Don't talk around with the giggling and the, he talks a little bit. No, he talks all the time. However, we're working towards when he gets to a place where he learns when it's quiet time, that he gets to understand it, and he begins to actually follow the rules, that he can be quiet during the time that I'm expecting him to be quiet. The parents will respect that, and then they'll also know what your expectations are, and they'll know what is going on, because you never want a parent to tell you how to be a teacher. And if you're unsure how to teach your class, and you have a conference with the parent, and they come with solutions and ways, and they tell you that what you're doing is not working with their child, they're telling you how to teach. And what happens is you sort of lose your leverage a little bit if you don't have a parent that's on the same and when I say team, I mean that you guys are not agreeing in that moment. So you want to make sure that you build your conversation and your relationships off of the experiences that you're desiring in your class for their child, the accountability that you want to have in place for yourself, for the student, and for the parent, and then the expectations. So that anytime that you may have to have conversations that may be a little difficult or uncomfortable to have, the expectation is clear and direct. And one thing that you want to also make sure is that when you are setting the expectations, you're given expectations that are clear and direct, and that these expectations are not far-fetched. And I'm going to say this saying because it needs to be said in a way so you can understand it. If you're giving far-fetched expectations, and it's things that a kid may not be able to reach, or a parent may not be able to reach, it's a saying that I share with teachers, and it's a loose slip will sink the ship. So if you're out here blabbing and giving all these different expectations to the parent and the student, and you're not upholding yourself to the same expectation, you might sink your own ship. So as an educator and as a teacher, and as the desire is to build a strong relationship with parents, you want to make sure that everything is clear and direct, that you're coming from a place of thinking of multiple ways for the student to be successful, that you're holding not only yourself accountable, the parent accountable, as well as the student accountable, so that all expectations are understood and everyone is on the same sheet of music. You're able to have a successful school year no matter what parent you come in contact with. These are my three words that I want to use and share with you when building strong parent-teacher relationships. And that is experiences, thinking about it from the student's experience in your class, from the parent's experience as they were a student, and as your experience as the teacher. Accountability, from looking at it from the accountability from the student, accountability that's given to the parent, and accountability that you have for yourself, and expectations that all three will have in order to have a successful school year. Again, thank you for listening to Candid Convos with Evette, and I hope you have a great day.